What did the weird kid do to earn that reputation? Pulled out his pubes or armpit hair one by one and ate them. Fingered themselves during class, then brought a cake the next day to apologize. He thought he was a robot. Often you'd find him in the halls alone talking to electronics about destroying the human race or having a conversation with a locker. He brought a live lobster to a middle school dance and let it go on the dance floor during the dance. Wasn't even a question of who would have done this. It was Nate. Nate did it. The weird kid at my school always claimed she was a wizard, and when someone spoke to her when she was casting a spell, screaming at the ground, she would turn around and either scream in their face or bitch slap them. I was new to the school at the time and I got screamed at cause I was legitimately worried that she might be hurt or something. There was this guy, KN class below me, who just ate everything. Once he went to the front of the classroom where the sink thingy is, took a big stack of paper towels back to his place and just started eating it mid-lesson. Another time he drank a Capri Sun in class, and when he was finished he just ate the package with straw and everything. The weirdest thing was when he ate a toy car the teacher brought to show something. He just sat in front of the teacher's desk, took the car from it and swallowed it without saying anything. Deleted. Set his arm on fire on a school trip to France. Sprayed his arm with deodorant for about a whole minute before getting someone to light it. It wouldn't go out until he used the tap in the bathroom to douse it with water. He ended up with blisters and permanent scarring. So the school trip ends and we go back to school the week after. All of a sudden me and 4 other kids get pulled into a classroom to be questioned by police and the head teacher. He basically told his mom that we did it to him. Obviously this did not stick, as we all had the same story. If I had Facebook I would look him up. See how life is for him nowadays. Edit. Forgot to say deodorant is what he used. Ate a live lizard while the entire school was hanging out on the football field during a fire drill. Dude would wear a stormtrooper costume and taped an old flip-up phone to his arm and pretend to talk through it. This was in HS. He was particularly odd because he was like a born genius, so he'd often get bored in class and get up to some weird shit. Got caught whacking it in the school bathroom. Then later got his dick stuck in a shampoo bottle. Guys, if you get your dick stuck in a shampoo bottle, and your mom has to take you to the hospital to remedy the situation, you need to keep that to yourselves. There is no teenager in the world who's going to keep that knowledge to themselves. There was a girl in my school that got caught trying to color her entire tongue with a black Sharpie in like 7th grade. It was honestly surreal to witness. The teacher was so confused and just walked her to the principal. A few years later she was expelled for drinking during school on multiple occasions. Removed. He would put on sunglasses and stare at girls' chests. It was obvious. Cut himself in class. Waited for the blood to congeal a bit then ate it. Just writing that made me gag. Years later he got arrested for stabbing someone. Dressed as a pirate every day for 8 years. Legit said he was leaving rural MI to move to the Caribbean and become a pirate. Changed his name to Blackbeard Ryan. Raised his hand, and when the teacher called on him to answer his question, he started singing Frère Jacques. He had a notoriety for shitting his pants at least once a day and was super casual about it. I remember I was behind him in the hall one day when I saw a massive turd plop out of his short legs. He looked back at it and just kept on strutting. Well, fucked a goat lad. Collected earthworms when it rained. In the pouch of his hoodie. And then laid them out in the schoolyard. Spelling his own name. He cried when he saw that it had been scraped from the pavement the next day. By that time he was around 13. Predictably, we started calling him Worm Kid. He got expelled around a year later for throwing a fistful of earth at a teacher. Edit. To elaborate on him having to leave the school. This act of dirt tossing happened inside of a classroom, at close proximity. When he'd been called to the blackboard during a Latin lesson. I'm from Europe. The teacher completely lost her shit. The moist soil was all in her hair. And she later said a couple of live beetles and little pebbles or bone splinters were also found in that mix. Though I can't say whether that's true. He would bark like a dog when talked to. He probably had some mental problems, but most people just avoided him. When we were about 15. Harrison. We were all addressed by our surnames. Decided one day to wrap his penis in adhesive tape during a biology lesson. I can't remember why. nor how he managed to remove it, but I was impressed. He also held the record for stabbing into the desk between each finger of his outstretched hand with a compass. A very sharp point. As fast as possible. Despite hitting a finger at least once. He later became a distinguished surgeon. A girl in my year at school told us that she has a ghost in her bedroom and it told her that if she didn't brush her teeth it would burn her house down. Another girl said she wanted to have sex with our headmaster but she was like 7 at the time. And she used to scratch people in the face like a cat. I held the door open for her once and she flipped me off and called me a fucking bitch. He drew Pokemon porn during class. For a few years. He was very into the fantasy of war games. He would get super excited when anyone would play along with him. We had over 5,000 students in the school and many people knew about him and would pretend to shoot at him for a laugh due to his antics. It all had to stop when someone pretended to shoot him with a bazooka and he jumped backwards down a flight of stairs from the explosion. Someone who is still unknown ran through the school with nothing on but a Spider-Man mask. He ran down the longest hallway we had. A quarter mile long. Willy flopping in the wind and no teacher or monitor could stop his majestic run. We were freshmen in an urban high school. He made increasingly wild claims like he had a bunch of illegal automatic weapons. He made poison darts and blow guns. His sensei could outrun an arrow fired from a bow and he was learning how to do it. He had a nitro kit in his Trans Am that he used to outrun police. He transferred to another school. The next I heard of him 2 years later he had crashed into a brick wall and died while fleeing the police. The report said he lost control when he engaged his nitro kit. There is this kid who only listens to Megalovania. Worst part is that he blasts at full volume and doesn't bother wearing headphones. So imagine you're in my shoes. Taking a piss in the bathroom and 50% of the time you slowly hear Megalovania getting louder and louder until it echoes into the room and there is that kid just standing there with his phone out staring at everyone while you fear for your safety. A girl had developed much earlier than everyone else. She had like double D's and severe acne in grade 6. She used to act out weird scenes from TV shows by herself at recess. She was the type who told everyone she had a BF who had a Porsche. But went to a different school. Again. We were like 12. People made fun of her for the usual things. And shit she did, but one day things took a dark and strange turn. Some girl named Katie said something to her in line after lunch and she lost it. She smoked Katie in the head with her flute case and then hit some other kid who wasn't saying anything. She then spit chocolate milk all over a teacher who asked what was going on. Everyone was pretty shocked. But then she proceeded to sit down on the ground. Started to cry and pissed her pants right there. The ground was kinda sloped away from the school so the puddle formed. And then created like a stream of piss all the way to the field, maybe 15 to 20 feet. Everyone just stood there in shock at how many things had just happened in the span of 90 seconds. Edit. For those asking what she's doing now, I asked a couple people if anybody knew and I was told that last they had heard. She had a daughter with her partner and seemed happy. Ate a battery in class. Pissed in a bottle on a bus full of 60 kids. Chipped his tooth sucking on a Tajín packet. All his siblings are named the same name. Martin. I'm not really sure what this guy did. But he was a fun guy to be around. Presumably. Just ugly and visibly mentally ill. Once he said he was going to bring a surprise to a pep rally and got talked to by police. But it turned out to just be a bucket full of candy. He got nominated Homecoming King. And despite the principal trying to stop him from being elected, he won. He had a ton of school spirit. 2. It was really weird. Edit. A lot of people have concerns about it being a Carrie-type situation. But I don't think it was. As the kid said that the principal did not like him at all. And seemed to wait for him to make mistakes. Just so that he could dish out a punishment. I overheard the guy talking about it with his friends. And I remember that he was called to the principal's office to talk about it. But he didn't say anything about the principal being scared of him being teased or anything. My memory's a little hazy. But I'm pretty sure it was just because he wouldn't fit the school's image. That's what the kid felt. At least. Took a bite of a urinal cake because he was curious.